That's actually terrifying.
The ghost? That's spooky.
Alright, what? Hello everyone, welcome to a very spooky episode of Out of Our Minds. So, it's spooky because it's not Halloween and that's the perfect time to do spooky things. So, we brought a very special guest. His name's Jake. Hello
Hi.
everyone.
I'm new to this. I don't know no. Okay, sorry. The special guest is
It's Jeremy.
Jeremy.
He's a ghost.
He's an exchange student from, where is he from again?
I think it's...
We don't really know. I mean,
It's Spanish because the double L's cancel out, so it would be he.
Hermi.
What?
Hermi.
What?
Hermi.
You write this down. I don't know what you're saying.
Hermi.
His name's Jeremy.
Because he's from Spanish. Like,
Wait.
Spanish.
Alright, so we're going to be talking about spookies.
And like stuff that happened, primarily in Zach's house.
Hi.
And what is that you wrote it?
I wrote down some things that are just basic stuff that's happened. It's pretty cool.
I wrote down stuff that's happened to me. Primarily, like in the house. That has happened. I don't need this anymore though. Screw you, Jeremy.
So for some reason, my house is really cool, and that is that there's something in it. Don't really know what it is. It's kind of mystery, but I'm not the only one who's experienced things. Let's start with like just random noises that happens. There would be like footsteps we would hear, which is like the most common thing, I guess, is like somebody walking around, and I'd be like, oh well, whatever, house is settling. But what's not cool is when you're trying to do the laundry, and my friend Isaac was over, and we put the laundry in, and immediately it said it was done, and then we heard sprinting upstairs, like hardcore, like, and we kind of just looked at each other, and we got the F out of there. It was a great time.
Did you do the laundry though?
I don't even think
Did
so.
you
I think I just left.
Whatever.
There was a point where I actually had to call my parents because I kept hearing noises, like something got pushed off the counter, there was a door that shut, and then there's footsteps, like someone in heel-toe boots. And I was like, okay, cool. I called my parents, asked if anyone's home, and I was freaking out, like ready to call the cops because there's someone in my house. I don't know what to do. So I grabbed a pipe that was in my basement, and I went upstairs, and all the doors were shut, like door to the hallway, all the doors to the bathrooms, which wouldn't make sense if no one's in there. All the bedroom doors, everything was shut, and I was like, that's cool, and a bowl was pushed off of the counter.
Broken?
No, that was the weird part, it was just on the ground.
It was on the ground?
Yeah, and it's a glass bowl, so if something pushed it off, it would have shattered.
Not necessarily. Well, did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard something fall, like, within a lot. It sounded like something was, like, thrown off.
I mean, if a glass...
It doesn't mean it's going to break.
It can break, but if it hits the right way.
Yeah.
I really believe, like, I kind of believed in this stuff. All the paranormal, ghost stuff, spirits and whatnot beforehand. Like, I was like, okay, pretty strong believer in that. But I went over to your house a couple times, and then I realized, you know what? Yeah, this is the thing. This happens to people. I mean, obviously people have it a lot worse than you because you don't get like scratches on you like other people. And
don't jinx it, but no, nothing has really. The most thing that's attacked someone is our friend Alec was over at my house. We spent the night, and we were shutting the door because we were going to bed. And a birthday candle, no idea where it came from, just flew into the room at Alec. And it was like this little birthday candle, but it came at his feet. It hit him. It was just kind of stopped, like.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was so funny because he was holding like an airsoft gun too. Because he was trying to act all cool. Because I think something happened before that, like a noise or like I think something fell. He's like, "I'm gonna shoot the ghost." If he comes in and something like threw a birthday candle at him, he just looked at me and was like, "I don't know what to do. Shut the door." Another thing that happens is stuff will move without like any reason for it to be moved. So when I have people over, I usually put my cat in my room because that's what litter box is, and I don't like him like messing with people when they're sleeping. So I put him in my room. He was over, and our friend Logan was over for New Year's, right?
Yes.
While they were over, you had to be home by like noon or something the next day, and so I set an alarm for like 11, and I woke up and no one was there.
Yeah, he woke me up at like, we had like 4 hours of sleep by the time he woke me up, and he said there was like creaking. He said he heard the doors creaking like from the downstairs. I think it was the bathroom one.
That's what he said it was.
And then like he heard another door upstairs creaking. I don't think he heard them shut, but he just heard them like creak back and forth, and he was like, "Nope, dude, I'm out. I'm leaving."
On top of that, because like things have happened where doors will be shutting and everything, we tried talking to a ghost in my house with Cody and Logan.
Yep.
That day was wild.
Yep.
So my house is laid out where I'm in the basement, like my room's in the basement, and then I have like my computer and my virtual reality set up. And I had him, Cody, and Logan over, and we were all hanging out in the basement, and Jake and I wanted to go like see if we can find the ghost, because you haven't experienced it yet at that point, right? That was the first time.
No, that was the first time. I heard you told me stories, and I was like, dude, we have to like do something. That'd be so cool.
We all went upstairs, and we're trying to like get the ghost to do something. We're like, well, if something's here, can you like?
All the lights were off.
Yeah.
We were walking around with the candle.
It was like 11 at night.
It was pretty close to midnight.
And
so around there.
We were trying to say like if something's here, and we heard a few noises upstairs, but nothing that like it was like a creak or like something like hit the wall, but we couldn't tell what it was. At one point, we start hearing screaming from downstairs, and this is after like trying to call for the ghost, like trying to get it to come toward us and everything. And we run downstairs because Logan's like almost to the point of like crying. It sounded like from upstairs. We go downstairs, he has a VR headset off, he's freaking out and everything. Apparently something grabbed his clothing and tugged, because none of us were down there. We didn't really tell him that we were going upstairs. Or at
We
least
just said we were going to shut the lights off.
Yeah, we told him we were going to shut the light off, and he's like, whatever. Then we went downstairs, and he has the VR headset off. He's like panicking and everything, like, you guys aren't playing a trick on me, right? I'm like, no, we were all upstairs. There's no way we could have made it downstairs in time. So that was cool. And then later that night, we went into my laundry room, which is probably the creepiest room in my entire house.
Mm-hmm.
We shut the door. We all sat on the floor. I think we put a candle in the middle.
Yeah, I think we set a candle in the middle, and we were all sitting down on the floor, just like asking questions and like saying, hey, if there's any like spirit here. We were like asking questions, and then like after a while, I remember that we heard, it wasn't like footsteps, but it was like kind of like tapping almost.
Right. And we put my cat in my room to make sure nothing, like he wouldn't do anything. But yeah, we heard like
it was like tapping, kind of like a light footstep.
But from above us, not from in the room we were in.
It was upstairs, and then sounded like it was getting closer in a way, but it was like still upstairs, like next to the stairs.
And then at one point, one of the doors in my house started to bang.
Yes.
And that was kind of the part where we were like, okay, we should probably stop. It wasn't like one or two times. It was a good, like, it happened, I think it happened twice, but it banged a few times each time. And then we called it off, and that was that.
Nothing happened the rest of the night, I don't think.
Nothing ever threatening happens. It's more of like if you beckon to it, it kind of just comes out. But not...
Like, I'm gonna mess with you.
Yeah. And then we came around to my birthday party, which was like a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Right? Was 2 weeks ago? About a week ago. A week or two ago. I had my birthday party, and I had him, let's see.
Just a group of people.
There was a group of people, and
yeah.
We kind of got a Ouija board out.
Okay, let me start this off.
3
When I
a.m.
asked Zach, I said, hey, we should use the Ouija board. It was like 3:02. And if any of you guys know, 3 o'clock's like...
the time not to do things.
Yeah, so...
By the way,
he was hesitant. He didn't want to do it
I'm
at
usually
all.
the one who's like, let's all like go to the cemetery and do weird stuff. That sounded really weird.
Let's go to the cemetery and dig some graves up.
But this time, I don't know why, I was just not feeling it. Like, this is a horrible idea. Let's not use the Ouija board at 3 a.m. just because I don't feel like dying on my 19th birthday. But we did it.
So we used the Ouija board.
Right.
But the Ouija board didn't move at all.
No,
like
it never...
Whatever that thing's called, the...
Although someone was like really pressing down.
I think Logan was.
We got it out and we put a candle on the table, turned all the other lights off, and this time our friend Jarrett, who's not into this stuff at all, so he started playing VR and everything, and I'm pretty sure my cousin was lying down on the couch, and we started talking, and we started hearing like this weird like clicking noise that like
it just started too. It wasn't anything that
no one heard it before that, and it just sounds like the house was settling, but in a weird way. The weird thing was, as soon as we stopped, didn't hear it anymore.
Yeah, so like after we were done using the Ouija board, we didn't hear it all the rest of the night, the rest of the morning, anything like that. So it was like almost as soon as we started using it, we heard it, like we noticed it, and it was like a thing.
We also follow all the rules where you say goodbye, you do...
Oh, we're not idiots.
No.
We're not trying to get possessed.
We use WikiHow. We know what we're doing. But we had the candle and everything, and we tried making it move the candle at first. Because we tried, like, recreating how the candle would move, like, if someone was blowing on it. But it kind of moved in a way where, like, it didn't move toward... It moved toward us, which would not be how wind would blow. Like, if someone blew on it, it would move away. It kind of moved in. And then we tried, recreating how that would happen. And we found out that if someone, swipes their hand really slowly by it, it moved exactly the same way.
I remember Logan got really cold.
But Zach was cold before it. When we started talking about it, Zach got really cold.
Yeah.
And then once we started, he was fine, but then Logan got cold. And they switched spots.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like no one else in the room, because it's not cold or warm down there, it's just kind of room temperature. We have to see if there's a different thing it can do, because we heard the clicking, the candle moved, nothing else was happening. And I don't know who else heard it with me, but someone heard something behind us.
Joe did.
Yes.
They claimed, I didn't hear it, I don't think anyone else did, but him and Joe...
At the same time.
Said that they heard something like breeze past.
If you
behind me.
Exactly
and,
like this. Kind of like someone just slid something, and we were just like... What? Because Joe and I immediately...
And then he moved. I think Joe moved a seat, and he was
Joe
like,
moved over, because it sounded like it was right next to us. Which there's no hard surface because it's carpet unless it's on the table.
Yeah.
Joe and I were toward the end of it, and we just kind of looked at each other immediately. Did no one else hear that?
Dude, I kept looking behind me. I didn't hear it, but I was just so scared.
But at that point, we started getting cocky with it because there wasn't no actual science. We were like, "Will you touch one of us, or will you?"
Yeah.
And then once we started saying that, Jarrett, who's playing the VR immediately cuts out, goes to black.
The first thing we did is we asked, hey, can you move the candle?
Yeah.
You said that. But I heard it moved after we asked it.
It moved. It did the little weird move.
Yeah, it wasn't if you blow on it, it flickers.
It was if someone brushed past it.
It was like a slow...
Right. And it was actually, it's something out of a horror movie that started to happen. And then we started getting more cocky with it, and then at one point we're like, will you show us a different sign, will you touch one of us? Mm. And as we're saying this, we hear, guys, we all...
VR completely shut off. Jarrett was freaking out.
Usually, if you do VR for too long, this could have been a technical problem that's just well-timed, but the thing was, it was working fine all, 10 hours before this. Actually, no, we started the party at 3. It was 3 a.m. 12 hours we were using the VR. Nothing bad was happening. We kept giving it breaks so it could keep working. I didn't want to overdo my computer. And no one's touched it for a while because we were all playing Smash Bros. And then we're Jared's okay, well, I'm going to do this while you guys do that. And then it just cuts out. And Jared was he looked kind of shook. So that's it was it was either really well timed or something else was happening. It was just everything else happening at that time though, people feeling really cold, only one selective person. The noise Joe and I heard, the way the candle was kind of being weird. It all just kind of added up.
What are your thoughts on how Like the stuff that's happened in your house. Like, how do you feel about it?
Well, okay. First of all, I really like horror movies. Like, that's always been my go-to. But I've never wanted to live in one. So a lot of the time, but like the thing is, it's never done anything bad. Like, it's never. I mean, it's touched people. Like, something's brushed against my leg before I had my cat, and my friend Cassidy was over, and she was like, we were watching a scary movie because it was like Halloween time, and we're both laying still for like a good 20 minutes at this point, and her hair just flips over onto me. Like, no, we weren't moving, and she just kind of like looked at me, and I was like, okay. Living in a haunted house is it's both cool and scary, because even though like I shouldn't be scared of it because it's never done anything, it's still like the fear of like the unknown. Like, what could it do? Because I have night terrors a lot. Like, I have a sleeping problem. I know, it's great.
I had those when I was little.
I've had them for a while, like before I moved into this house, so it's not anything to do with this house. I've also had sleep paralysis and everything, but it's like, that stuff scares me a lot more than this. It's just when I turn off the lights to go to bed, I have to have...
A night light?
No. So I have to leave my room light on so at least illuminates something. And a lot of the time, I will see something move out of the corner of my eye, and I'll just be like, alright, cool, good night, and I'll just walk to my room. Like, no joke.
Good night, person in the corner of my basement.
It is what it is.
You want to know something crazy? So, for some reason I remember this. Logan Murphy, if you're watching this, you told me this super long ago. It was like way back when, like the prime time era of like being a kid, Cartoon Network shows and stuff like that. So I remember we were talking about this stuff, and you said, hey, in Minecraft when it says cannot sleep, there are monsters nearby? Well, you know how you can't sleep at night sometimes? It's because there's monsters nearby. That freaked. I couldn't. After he told me that, I just like couldn't sleep, and it just like just spiraled. I spiraled. I was like, "Oh, there's a monster in my closet." I was freaking out.
That's actually great. I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah. I was watching videos of like stuff like that happening. Videos of like people saying, "Oh, like this is happening," and they record it, and it would happen. And I'd be like, if that ever happened to me, I'd be like, okay, here's the deal. You can do that, just don't freak me out with it, okay? Just go along, just whatever you want to do.
So this episode was a bit more serious, but it happens. It's cool. What are we doing?
Comment down below if you believe us. You should, because we are telling the truth.
But also tell us any stories you have, because those are actually really fun to read.
Yep. And also, I mean, whether or not you believe that stuff like this actually happens, or if ghosts are real. But, I mean...
They're just crazy.
Obviously, by this, you can tell that ghosts are real. Jeremy!
Oh, hey, buddy.
I told you to wait in the corner. What?
Did we forget to feed him?
You don't feed ghosts.
You do.
No.
You do.
Oh. What's that word?
Ghost peppers.
What's that word? Ectoplasm?
Real quick before this video ends, Jake's playing Minecraft right now.
Subscribe! Like! For more Minecraft Let's Plays!
Okay.